Why the EV industry has a massive supply problem. The electric vehicle market is expanding quickly, and consumer demand is rising, making this a critical time for the sector. But this increase is accompanied by serious supply issues that could impede development. We'll demonstrate some of the main causes of this severe supply issue in this video. Number 5. Rapid demand growth. The market for electric vehicles is seeing an unparalleled upswing in demand propelled by a confluence of technological advancements, government incentives, and environmental consciousness. Global EV sales are expected to soar from about 2 million in 2020 to about 73 million by 2040, according to a number of forecasts. The availability of more reasonably priced EV models and a shift in consumer preferences toward environmentally friendly modes of transportation are driving this industry's rapid expansion. EVs and hybrids are expected to account for 66% of new car sales worldwide by 2030. Nevertheless, the manufacturer's current capacity to produce has not kept up with this surge in demand. Due to their inability to increase production at a rate fast enough to satisfy consumer demand, many automakers are experiencing severe backlogs and lengthy customer wait times. This mismatch between supply and demand causes a bottleneck in the market, which leaves customers dissatisfied and sales opportunities lost. The industry has been caught off guard by the quick increase in demand because most manufacturers were not ready for the quick switch to electric vehicles. To keep up with the increasing demand, many automakers have had to retool their factories, train their employees, and find the necessary components. As a result, some EV models are no longer as widely available and product launches have been delayed. Additionally, the entire supply chain from suppliers of raw materials to component manufacturers and logistics companies has been strained by the increase in demand. As a result, many companies are facing capacity constraints and struggling to keep up with the pace of growth, leading to shortages and delays in the delivery of vehicles to customers. Number 4. Complex supply chains. Inherently more complex than those of conventional internal combustion engine vehicles are the supply chains for electric vehicles. EVs need a wide range of specialized parts, especially batteries and semiconductor chips, which are both very technical and numerous. For example, an EV typically uses about 2,700 chips, while an ICE vehicle uses about 1,200 chips. These components are frequently sourced from a number of foreign suppliers, each of whom has different production capacities and logistical difficulties. The requirement for just-in-time manufacturing techniques adds to this complexity and creates vulnerabilities in the event that any link in the supply chain is compromised. Securing reliable and timely deliveries of these crucial components presents a challenge for manufacturers looking to increase production, which can postpone vehicle assembly and ultimately affect sales. The fact that a large number of essential components are made in a small number of nations adds to the complexity of EV supply chains. For instance, China is the world leader in the production of lithium-ion batteries, and the Democratic Republic of the Congo is a significant supplier of cobalt, an ingredient needed to make batteries. This geographic concentration poses risks because any disturbance in these areas, whether from governmental unrest, trade disputes, or strict environmental laws, can have a domino effect on the world's supply chain. Further complicating the logistics process is the requirement for specific handling and transportation of some components like batteries. Consequently, in order to guarantee a consistent supply of parts for their electric vehicle manufacturing, automakers have to manage a complex network of suppliers, laws, and transportation difficulties. Number 3. Material shortages and costs. The EV industry faces a great deal of difficulty because of its reliance on vital raw materials for battery production like nickel, cobalt, and lithium. Alongside the EV market's growth, there has been a sharp increase in demand for these materials, which has resulted in a shortage of supply and skyrocketing prices. For instance, because of the increased demand for lithium-ion batteries, the price of lithium has skyrocketed. In addition, the bulk of these materials come from a small number of nations, with China holding a leading position in the mineral processing industry. Due to the possibility of ripple effects on the global supply chain from any disruption in these regions, whether from political unrest, trade disputes, or environmental regulations, this concentration carries geopolitical risks. Because of this, automakers' ability to price EVs competitively may be hampered by growing production costs. A major impediment to the electric vehicle industry is the scarcity of vital raw materials, which restricts the ability to produce batteries and other necessary parts. To obtain the required materials, several automakers have had to renegotiate supply agreements and look into alternate sourcing techniques. Nevertheless, the lengthy lead times necessary to start up new mining projects and the high capital expenditures involved in making such investments frequently hinder these efforts. Moreover, the complicated and energy-intensive process of turning these raw materials into functional components may increase the total carbon footprint of EV manufacturing. To maintain the long-term viability of the EV market, a steady and sustainable supply of essential materials will be more and more necessary as the industry expands. Number 2. Logistical challenges. Transporting EV parts, especially batteries, has special logistical requirements. Because they are delicate, batteries need to be handled carefully to prevent damage and guarantee safety while being transported. Because of their hazardous nature, they are also governed by stringent regulation, which makes shipping more difficult and necessitates specialized handling. Transportation delays may result from the need to adhere to these rules, particularly when traveling across international borders. The logistics of locating, moving, and storing these components get more complicated as manufacturers increase production. Production halts brought on by delays in any link in the supply chain can exacerbate the supply issue. To effectively navigate these challenges, companies need to invest in more robust logistics solutions and partnerships. The fact that a large number of essential components are made in other nations and must be shipped over great distances to reach the final assembly plants exacerbates the logistical difficulties the EV industry faces. This raises the possibility of delays and disturbances brought on by elements like bad weather, obtaining customs clearance, and labor disputes. The logistics process is also more complicated and expensive because handling and storing batteries requires specific infrastructure and equipment. In order to maintain a consistent supply of components and reduce production delays, the industry's continued growth will increase the need for effective and dependable logistics solutions. To address these issues and guarantee the seamless flow of materials throughout the supply chain, automakers and logistics providers must collaborate to develop creative solutions such as increased use of rail transport, enhanced tracking systems, and better coordination with suppliers. Number 1. Evolving regulations. For manufacturers, this can lead to uncertainty and complications as the regulatory environment for electric vehicles and their components continues to change. Governments everywhere are enacting new laws to encourage the use of electric vehicles, although regional differences can be substantial in these laws. For example, laws governing safety procedures, emissions limits, and battery recycling can vary greatly, making it difficult for manufacturers who operate in several markets to comply with them. Companies have to quickly adjust to changing regulations, which frequently results in extra expenses and supply chain delays. Moreover, inconsistent production methods and poor quality control can result from a lack of standardized regulations, which makes it challenging for manufacturers to guarantee the robustness and effectiveness of their supply chains. The EV industry faces both opportunities and challenges as a result of the changing regulatory environment. On the one hand, government initiatives to encourage the adoption of electric vehicles can increase demand and foster a positive market environment. Nonetheless, the absence of uniform laws in various areas may cause manufacturers to incur more expenses and complexity. For instance, the introduction of new models in some markets may be delayed by the requirement to adhere to various safety standards and certification requirements. Automakers may also find it challenging to plan their long-term investments and supply chain strategies due to the uncertainty surrounding upcoming regulations, such as those pertaining to emissions targets or battery recycling. In order to effectively navigate this changing environment, the electric vehicle industry needs to interact with regulators and lawmakers to support regulations that are transparent, logical, and encourage the expansion of the industry while guaranteeing the sustainability and safety of EVs. These points provide a comprehensive overview of the key factors contributing to the supply problems in the EV industry, highlighting the need for strategic solutions and collaboration across the entire value chain to address these challenges and ensure the continued growth and success of the electric vehicle market. If you liked our video, please hit the like button and subscribe to our YouTube channel.